There we go. All right. So funny. I've got the TikTok live downloading over here in the silence, and I've got us here on YouTube for the next hour. Going to do that thing I do to make it easier for me to read the chat. So, welcome. Good morning. As we all kind of file in and settle in and all sorts of in with the in crowd type of things, I'm going to update my habit tracker. I consider what I just did a walk. I'm almost done with my water. I just went to yoga. All right. A little bit at a time, spreading sunshine. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm going to see if I can do this. Okay, maybe that would help. So, good morning. I hope things are going well where you are. Think things are going okay with me. Crown on down. Just ate a chocolate, a Valentine's Day chocolate I got from yoga class. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Ooh, feel a little bit oogie in my tummy because I ate said chocolate along with tea. I'll be okay. Further down as I do my scan from the crown on down, feeling okay. How about you? Hope your nervous system is feeling okay too. Way up here, way down there. Ideally, just right. I just noticed my hair looks a little bit wonky because I had my hood up because it was kind of windy when I was outside. And here we are. We're here doing the TikTok live, the YouTube live. There we go. Cheryl, nice to see you. Leslie, and we're back. So this has been one of the fun things about the way that I've scheduled the lives recently is before I used to kind of cram them together, not cram them together, but kind of back to back, and that can be fun sometimes, but also that is just heard a weird noise. I do like this chunk in between, getting some stuff done, checking back in again. And I just realized, oh my goodness, I have not updated. I will have to update the secret page, you guys. I just noticed that myself because I have it on my own calendar. So I will do that as soon as we get off of our YouTube live right here, which would be, and I'll put a little asterisk. Update secret page. At least through next week. Next week, I got a couple of days off. Good morning, Lizzie Frisball from California. Yay. Yeah, and you're saying, there you go. Leslie says the space in between the TikTok lives and the YouTube lives is kind of fun. Plus, I'm usually able to do at least one. Yay. Shannon, nice to see you. Coffee and Calm. Jules, Gen X, nice to see you. Gen Xers. I'm going through my cassette tapes. It's kind of fun. Here's an insight that I'll just share with you in case you feel this way. I don't know why I never went through those cassettes before in the past, let's say 40 years that I've literally carried them around with me. And that's okay. I feel like I trust that for whatever reason I wasn't interested or ready. Now I am ready and interested, and it has been fun to go through them. So if you say to yourself, I've been carrying around this stuff for years and I don't know why, feel free to go look for the answer. Or you can even say, okay, I don't know why I didn't do it then. I feel like I could do it now. That's also a great way of doing it. We don't always, there's a lot of insight, trust me, but when it doesn't always have to go deep. I don't know. I just didn't do it, but now I'm going to is different. If you say, I don't know why I couldn't do it then, and I'm struggling to do it now, well, then that's when we want to talk. So there we go. Oh, speaking of warm weather, Social Karma Marketing MN. Howdy. Sunny and 40 degrees in Minnesota, so it's time to break out the Bermuda shorts. Oh my gosh, I know. It was 30 something yesterday here in PA, and I felt like it was tropical because it was so different from the awful weather we had been having. So yay for feeling good in your body. Yay for nice temperatures. Yay for tasty flavors. Yay for, do you remember that? What was that? Glean, like tooth polish where they go, Yay for brushed teeth. even though mine aren't brushed yet. Taking care of yourself and enjoying your body. I went to yoga. I could do some things easily, some things I struggled with. But getting practice in being in the struggle and not losing your shit. That's what I like to do. I'm getting better at it all the time. All right. So here we are. It is 11:05 in the morning where I am. Destination Decluttered, Beth. Destination Decluttered, decluttering life coach. Kind of like a what do I want to call it? Well, I am a decluttering life coach, but I'm kind of like your uh, co-pilot on a road trip, or maybe right now because there's a bunch of us. I'm like, you guys all get on the bus and we're taking a tour. Now the neat thing is the bus driver will go anywhere we want to go. I'm up here kind of guiding you through it. So where would you like to go today on our bus tour, our fun bus tour? We will not go on a boring bus tour. No. If something's boring, let's make it less boring. Or if it's, I don't even want to say boring because some things don't need to be engaging 100%. But if they're mundane, I'm thinking laundry, I'm thinking dishes, I'm thinking vacuuming, all that kind of cleaning stuff. Make it less stressful, less something you have to think about and get into like a push me, pull you about it. Minimize the drama, maximize the joy. That's what I say. Mary Lou, good morning. So here we are. I tend to help you with the same things over and over again. Happy to do so. Anything new pop up, any new insights or questions you have about decluttering? Because I will say it was funny. I'm downloading today's TikTok live, which will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. And as I was doing that, it reminded me that I have been doing TikTok lives and YouTube lives for almost 4 years now. Crazy stuff. Now, we may all not have known each other back then. And frankly, I feel like every day I'm the best that I have been in my coaching. I feel like I'm getting better all the time, as the Beatles would say. I'm going through my own sentimental clutter like I haven't before. I am having fun sharing what I am discovering with people who would get a kick out of it. I am being thanked for saving these things and sharing them with people. But if I saved my sentimental stuff that had something to do with other people and they didn't know about it, they wouldn't know. So I like to share those things, taking a look at this picture of dad when he was young. Oh my gosh, that's you on the radio. Hey, remember this from high school? All of those types of things. So the more I do it, the easier it is, the more fun it is, and the less stuff I have. Now, the great thing is I am doing this. It's funny. I have had a number of my one-on-one clients, one-on-one coaching paying clients who are around the same age as I am, like the same era. And I cannot tell you how many people were kind of like, I want to change what I'm doing clutter-wise before I hit 60. It's important to me that is a milestone. And I offer to you that I'm kind of doing the same thing. I do plan on living at least another 40 years. However, I love entering into this next chapter of my life, which still won't happen for another, 5 or 6 months, with less baggage, with less stuff like that. Okay. Hey, Patty. Patty says, new for me, I realize, I love realizations. I am procrastinating with 1 and 2 clutter, delaying have to face number 3 clutter. Okay. Now you know what that means. Number 1 clutter and number 2 clutter. Yeah, sometimes we don't declutter because we're afraid of what we're going to find. If you want to name number 1 and number 2 or number 3, I can help you with the specifics. But when you give me generalities, I will do my best to give you in general. So sometimes we drag our feet because we don't want to get to a certain point. Yeah, sunny here with 33 with wind chill feels like 19. Yeah, I will be honest with you. It is windier out today than it was yesterday. But I did at least go for a walk. Get curious when you are procrastinating. Okay. There we go. Leslie says, I started before 60 and wanted to be in maintenance mode. Oh, I like that. Maintenance mode before retirement. All right. Now, Leslie, I hope you're there. I hope you're in maintenance mode. But even if you're not, when you start to realize that decluttering can be fun, decluttering reveals something every time. Reveal, like it, you open up something and you reveal what's inside it. And oftentimes, what you are discovering is something about yourself, who you were in the past, who you thought you were going to be in the past, the things you liked about your past, the things you didn't like about your past. That is all from a point of reference of now. But then, if we time travel and we're looking in the past and noticing all that stuff, who's to say we can't just turn in the other direction and think of the future? Do I want this for the future? What kind of future do I want? Hello, making a destination. Alrighty. Yeah. I'm 64 in the house and stuff already. I didn't want that to be my retirement job. So notice having a destination of I want to get done with this before my retirement could be a thing. And so that might give you a little kind of shove, a little pep in your step to get going sooner rather than later. Will I be perfectly decluttered by the time my birthday hits? No. Will I be more decluttered than I was the year before? Oh, hell yeah. Will I feel good about how I did it, when I did it, the who, what, when, where, and why of it all? Yeah. Yeah. I am enjoying this process. I really am. Yeah. All righty. Yeah. Yeah. Patty, I'm glad I don't want to say outed yourself, but you revealed surface and stored clutter. I never really finish so that I don't have to start on sentimental clutter. All right. Well, notice that the fear of starting on your sentimental clutter. Now, I am in the midst of my sentimental decluttering like nobody's business. So, Patty, I just ask you, what are you afraid you're going to find? Love letters from an ex-beau? Failing grades on your report card from 4th grade? That time your mom wrote you a really mean note? What is something you are afraid of finding in your sentimental clutter? Sometimes it's not even a thing, it's a feeling. Sometimes going through sentimental clutter makes you realize, holy shit, it was over 40 years ago that I was in college radio. Time is passing. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. My God, it's like I may feel the same young and good inside me, but then I look in the mirror. The mirror. Look at all those wrinkles, huh? My goodness. Time is passing and it makes me kind of sad that I have only a finite amount of time on this planet. Have I lived the life I've wanted to live so far? Yes, no, maybe so. If I haven't, what can I do about it now? It's never too late. Okay? Yeah. I love this. I love it. Having a destination that kind of has like a fire in your belly. Garden Girl NE65, aka Kara. Hubs is retiring from teaching next year in May. I am going to use my jewelry money. She's selling her jewelry clutter to pay off as much as our credit card debt as I can before next May. Every $10 or $15 helps. Yeah. When I get older, losing my hair many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine? Birthday greetings? Bottle of wine? I hope so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Patty, notice you can control some of this. So I love it. And Patty, yeah, the heartbreak of most of the family of a certain generation is gone. Yeah, I get you. Lots of tears. Tears are okay. Tears are your body releasing something. Let it. We try to hold on to tears. We try to hold on to throw up. We try to hold on to poop. We try to hold on and control things. I don't know about you. Pretty much every time I have done that thing after I feel better. Okay. So lots of tears, you can control it. You can open up the little box of something and be like, whoa, that's too much. Whoa, that's too much. I can shut it again, but not everything. I will share with you. I was afraid to go through my stuff for fear what I was going to find. And I have gone through some of the things that I didn't even expect, that I was like, whoa, what the heck is this? I've survived and it's okay. You will too. You will too, Patty. Would love to put together for my darling daughter. Too much feels, so do a little bit. See, notice your all or nothinging. I'm going to call out lovingly when you all or nothing. I have to get all the surface and all the stored done before I do anything in this thing. Well, you know why you're doing that, because you're afraid of feeling feels. That fear will continue to be there and probably grow bigger the more you make a big deal out of it. I will tell you, some of the stuff I was afraid of finding, I didn't even find. I opened up boxes. I'm like, why? What is this? I don't even care about this stuff anymore. You have the power to open up the container, to look at it, to pull one piece out, to shut the container. So I say, Patty, and I say this to all of us, all of y'all, including myself, chunking it down is a way you can control it. But I say the all or nothing are two extremes that are not going to get you what you want. It's almost like a recipe. It's like eating different things at lunch. Not I have to eat all my potatoes and then I go for my steak and then I eat my green beans and then I drink my milk. It's a little bit at a time, makes it easier. Going into the deep end of the pool, sometimes even for a little bit, makes you fully appreciate the shallow end of the pool, aka cleaning up the kitchen, because it does not take as much energy. Allow yourself to feel, to grieve, to release your grief, and then see how you feel afterwards. I hope you feel better. I pretty much know you will, because your body is saying, let go of this stuff. It wants to cry. It wants to grieve. All right. It does look like all one big molded pile, but it's not really. But it feels that way. Yes, your feeling is triggered by a giant overwhelmed molded pile of overwhelm. But that pile of overwhelm is made up of little pieces of paper. You can pick out one little piece of paper and say, how do I feel? I'm looking at this picture. I'm picturing myself picking up one of those tiny little pictures that we would get in like grade school of your school picture. And it's of my cousin when she was in grade school. My cousin, who was only a few years older than me, I don't even know if I'll have to do the math. I think she had just turned 60, or maybe she hadn't even. She passed away a couple of years ago. I can think about her and love her. I can feel a little bit I could easily cry if I chose to, but I'm okay because I still love her. I can emotionally handle, even pretending to look at a picture of her and smile about how we used to dance around at Grammy's house to the Beatles and watch Price is Right. So chunking it down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So see, Mary Lou and Patty, you're both doing the same thing and you're both noticing it isn't getting you the result you want. Mary Lou is saying, I do the all or nothing thing constantly. Similarly, I avoid certain tasks by believing they need to be done in order. Can't do this until this is done. Right? And notice where that's got you. Do you like that? Notice that approach has you ending up here, where you're saying nothing gets done. Where Patty is saying pretty much, yeah, I know I'm avoiding. And here's the deal. When you're avoiding something, it exists. So part of the fear, you're walking around in fear all the time. So you're not stopping yourself from fear. If anything, you're carrying it with you. Every time you're avoiding something, you're carrying the fear with you. You will not let go of the fear until you chunk it down, calm down, write down, do the things, and just look at the thing you're afraid of. Yep. I would get curious about the certain tasks that you are avoiding. I know many of us avoid kind of dealing with our taxes, but I've already started mine in a very low, shallow end of the pool level, and it feels good. I have kind of broken the seal on it. I have started, and that gets it going. If you never start, as Kara said either today or on the YouTube live or on the TikTok live, if you never start, you'll never finish. If you do not start moving in the direction that you want, you're taking all these detours. You're taking all these detours and they're leading you away from what you want because you're afraid that you're going to feel some feels. That's okay. Feeling feels can feel scary because you're a bit out of control. You know? Now, in other happy news, LOHQX2SO4 says, your words got me through the overwhelm of cleaning out the basement just before 60 last year. Okay, see, my people. Our family, including yourself, is enjoying the open space so much now. Cheers for chunking it down. Right. Now, this is why. This is how I communicate with words and maybe some hand gestures and a road trip and some pictures and microphones and everything like that. Because this is a gift to you. You are being given the key to solve what's bugging you. It's up to you whether you pick up the key and put it in the ignition and use it. But you are given the keys, not to the kingdom, because I don't even know where that would be. You're being given keys to the car that you can drive anywhere you want. It's up to you whether you are going to be grabbing those keys from me. Do you remember, speaking of grabbing keys, I don't know if you can remember way back when, prior to when you knew how to drive a car, you didn't know how to drive a car. But you knew at a certain level anyway, that learning that skill that you might have been afraid to do because you could kill yourself driving, and yet there was something about driving that you knew would open up your world. You don't, So you did something that could cause you death, and you do it every day. You get in the car and you drive without even thinking about it. Your mind can be a million miles away. You do something that could cause your death every day, and it's no big deal. And yet you're afraid of opening up a box of letters. That won't kill you. Unless they're filled with arsenic or something, but I don't know. Hey, McDougs from Tampa, nice to see you. It will not kill you. You do things daily that could kill you. So you are brave enough to get behind the wheel of an actual automobile. So opening up a box of paper is far less dangerous to you. But until you get comfortable knowing that, feeling that, trusting that I am right when I say if you do it a little bit at a time, that it feels better. Again, remember driving the car, maybe even just backing up and moving forward in the driveway and not stalling out, practicing the feel of it. That was a little bit at a time, and you felt good, and then you left and you're like, yay, I did something. This is just like learning how to drive a car. But if you are more afraid of what could happen to you than, like, what's that phrase? I know I've seen it on like a Hallmark poster. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited about what can go right. Now, notice this. I have played with this myself because I can be a scaredy cat sometimes. The feeling of being afraid and the feeling of being excited are similar to to themselves in your body. The one I will say is fear is that feeling with an unhappy face, and the exact same feeling with a happy face is excitement. So why not pretend you're excited instead of being afraid to say, "Oh my gosh, can you imagine how good I will feel when I no longer am dragging around these cassettes? You know how much fun I'm going to have listening to these, to see the songs that I was listening to, the commercials that I may have inadvertently recorded off of the radio, my friends and I singing along to something and pretending we were on the radio, the messages that were somehow, left on these tapes. How fun will it be? Will I get the feels? I will. I will share with you. One of these tapes has my dad's voice on it. It was a tape from the telephone, you know what it was, the answering machine. I popped it in and I'm like, holy shit, like that is something you rarely hear anymore. We don't often have that person's voice. And it got me in the feels. And my husband was in listening for it to me because there were some other messages on that. And he lovingly put his hand on my shoulder and I was like, it's okay. It's okay. That is Dad's voice. How cool to hear from him. I choose to believe he was saying, yay, thank God you're going through those tapes you've been carrying around for so long. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You do so many other things that are worth being fearful for, and you do it without batting an eyelash. Oop, I just batted an eyelash. Okay. So I hope that helps. Patty, I hope that helps. Mary Lou, I hope that helps. Now, you may not immediately click into that, but what I've given you is some things to replace the thoughts of fear that come up organically or just by habit. Now you have some other words to overlay on them to disrupt that constant fear of all or nothing. And you are the one who decides what words are repeated in your head. You can stop the ones that don't help, and you can start some ones that are more encouraging with a smile on their face versus a frown or a, how about a yay? I would not share this with you if I didn't know for a stone cold fact that it helps. It works. You will feel better. And when you start to declutter your sentimental stuff and prove to yourself you can do it, you will feel stronger and better about yourself. Suddenly things will open up. Right now, things are stopping and closing down. Yeah. Okay. And Mary Lou, forgive yourself your trespasses as you forgive those who trespass against you, or something like that. Mary Lou is saying it definitely helps. Thank you. I left a tape of me with my grandmother when I was a baby and just babbling. I left it in a boombox that I sold at a yard sale. It still haunts me that I lost it so stupidly. Forgive yourself. You are human. You did something you regret. Okay? You did something you regret. I know in my decluttering in past times, and even probably more recently, I have decluttered stuff that in hindsight, I kind of wish I did something different with. You know what I say, Mary Lou, is, oh, well, notice how you did that back when you were decluttering the only way you knew how. Now you're hanging out with me. I say, make sure that there's no tapes in your boom boxes. Make sure that there's nothing that you want in those books, even if it means opening up a book and shaking it out to see if somebody left a $100 bill in it. You never know. So take your time and go through your stuff. And don't do things in a rush and a panic. When you are rushed and panicky and fearful and you just want to get the stuff done because you're trying to make up for lost time, that's when mistakes happen. That's when regret increases. When you are rushing through any kind of process, your mistakes will increase and your regret increases when you are speeding. And that's the type of thing, think about it. You're driving the speed limit on the highway, you should be pretty okay. You're going 90 on the highway, you're speeding, trying to get there quicker. Bad things could happen. Okay, Patty says 1 box at a time. Yes, notice how already your brain is now not looking at that giant blob, but you're saying 1 box at a time. I'm glad it helps. Now, the other thing that's going to help too, just as a reminder. So today is Thursday, February 12th, right? We did a TikTok live. I did a yoga. Look at what I'm doing is I'm scheduling. I am saying cassettes. I am going to be going through, and literally these are sentimental to me. YouTube live. All right. We have a TikTok live and a YouTube live this Friday. Saturday the 14th, there are two, count them, two mints and one. There are two declutter parties. You want to give a Valentine to yourself? Hang out with people that can make decluttering the scary stuff easier. One of the things I found when I was decluttering are all these little cards and love notes that my husband and I had sent each other in the past, and I continue to save them. So there are two declutter parties that if you're afraid to go through a box, Patty, do it during a party. You're not going to be alone. The neat thing is, too, about the declutter parties is that while they're on Zoom, so they're very private, it's only for the people who've bought the tickets. They're not public. They're not recorded. You don't even have to have your camera on. You can cry. You can have your camera off and your microphone off and not even communicate, but you can be there and we can just even being in the presence of loving, kind people might help you do something that you might have been scared to do. Sunday, we've got a declutter party. Monday, we've got TikTok lives, YouTube lives. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going away. Thursday, Friday, more TikTok parties. And then I swear to God, it's almost going to be March. Okay. So there are plenty of opportunities for us to be together live. Okay. Lady Bandit says, hey, Lady Bandit, it helps to have someone there. Yeah. So sometimes it may help to have someone there. So that's us. We are there for you because some people that you know might not be the best people to help you declutter. Right. Yes. And you can remind yourself what you still have and what no one can take from you, the good times you've had and the memories. Yeah, what I was doing is I actually sit down with some of these things and I allow myself a piece of paper to write down some of the things that were on these cassettes. You know, like I had a cassette. Here's a fun thing because I wrote it down. I'll share with you. Is like, yeah, I had a Duran Duran cassette. I let go of it. It was sentimental, but I'll always remember that person that I had a crush on gave me the thing, even though he didn't have a crush on me. That's okay. I now have been married to somebody who in his previous photos looks like a young John Taylor. I can always remember these things. And if I'm afraid, if I have the fear of forgetting, I'm writing this stuff down. And even though this is rough notes, I am collecting them up. So then instead of going through all the stuff, I can go through the notes and decide then, do I want to remember that memory? You know? So you still have the memory of you and your grandmother babbling as a baby. Remember that and make small, turn down, black and white, grainy, discount the part where you let go of that during the sale. Okay. Yeah, because none of these stories, some of these stories live in external things, tapes, I'm thinking more so than a boombox, but the stories live in us. And our stories grow stronger with repetition and sharing. Our stories grow weaker by keeping them to ourselves and turning them away. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Patty. Yeah, Patty is saying, this group is very supportive. I'm not alone. You all understand, and I don't have to share it all, but you are there. Yeah. Yes. Now here's a fun thing. So one of the declutter parties we had, and it was just a small one. I like the small ones. The party room is open to everybody who wants to join, but I like the small ones because we get to chat a little bit. We all unmute versus having a call on people. So Leslie is saying, Beth, remember my mom's hat? I do. So sometime last year when we were doing a declutter party, Leslie was struggling because she had this hat, a sun hat of her mom's. Now notice, Leslie's mom's sun hat now lives on in my memory, right? It's like an idea worth spreading. It's like Fabergé organic shampoo. She was struggling. Should she keep the hat? Should she not keep the hat? And then she said, wait a minute. I have this picture of my mom with a smile on her face and that hat on her head. I will keep this picture and I will feel okay letting go of the hat because I will remember my mom smiling because I can see this picture. And she says, no regret. And I think of how we enjoyed that in the party because Carla was on the party and Carla wanted Leslie to send her the hat down in Alabama. And I was like, no, that's the thing we do not do is we do not reclutter things. And we all honored her too. Yeah. Because don't we all want to be remembered by somebody? And don't we all want to be remembered as somebody smiling with a sun hat on, having a kick-ass time in life? To me, those are the kinds of people I want to remember. I want to remember the people that I was related to who were good people, who were having fun, who were making the most of their lives, who were being kind and loving to themselves and to other people. So live a life worth remembering. Remember yourself, and hopefully somebody else will remember you too. But if not, we're not going to be around to know if we were remembered or not. So here's a fun thing too. I just glanced over here. The Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. This is going to be fun. I'm going to be doing the countdown. Right now, 992 videos. With today's TikTok and today's, it's going to be 994. So in 6 lives, so sometime next week, I may hit 1,000 videos that I have shared, I have created, we have created. Because me talking just to nobody, oh, I'd be so bored. But we are creating a resource for ourselves. It would be really interesting if we all went back and you could pinpoint the very first time you appeared, you showed up in the comment section of one of these TikTok lives or YouTube lives and where you were in your life those years ago and who you were and the stuff you had in your house and how that has changed since we have had this community together. We can have a party to celebrate 1,000. We'll see what it is. Maybe we'll have like a free declutter party or something like that. Or you guys can, donate money to a local cause or something. Yeah. Hey, Colleen M. I'm glad you love the library of YouTube videos. I'm shocked I made it to a live. Well, you know what? You can decrease your shock. I will share with you by knowing that these lives are scheduled. Now, I admit, as I look on the secret page right here, that I did not realize that where is it? Nope, not that. I do need to go log in and take off Wednesday, Tuesday. Actually, I'll do it after this one because then it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll put the declutter parties, or excuse me, the lives for next week on there. So there is a schedule. So it can be fun to kind of happenstance across something. It's like the difference between, I don't know if this will relate to anybody will relate to this. It's like the difference between thrifting and coming across something really cool or knowing that you're going to an actual curated vintage store that you know is going to be filled with a lot of stuff you like. You'll make an effort to go there. Yep. Huh. Now, Colleen says, I'm on the mailing list. Good. And remember, I don't send out a lot of emails, but the mailing list people get the link to the secret page. I just seem to miss everything by an hour or two for some reason. Now, Colleen, I don't know what state you live in, but please know, and for everybody, just as a reminder, I find it the simplest to keep the times that I talk about consistently Eastern. Because if I try to do it for everybody's thing, I get confused. And if I'm confused, you're going to, All right. Interesting. Colleen, I'd love to know your reason. Sherry Fricks is saying, I need ideas how to organize digital photos as you can scan them. Huh. There we go. Okay, so Colleen, I will add it to my calendar and I am Central Time. Yeah, so for example, when I am looking at this, and I even say live schedule, the TV guide, always listed in Eastern Time because I'm an East Coast gal. So remember, when you see 11, you have to do the math for yourself, okay? But I figured it's better to have one fixed spot and one moving spot, a whole bunch, than have us both moving and then get confused. All right? So Sherry, I need ideas how to organize digital photos as you scan them. There's many ways you can do that. It depends on what the photos are And so I would brainstorm. Like right now, I'd pick up a piece of paper and be like, okay, well, what are the photos? Are they family photos? Are they dad's side of the family? Are they mom's side of the family? Are there photos of just me that nobody else in my family is going to care about? Pictures of me and my high school friends, my college friends, people that I worked with, my current crew. So there's different ways you can chunk it down. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Colleen says ADHD. Of course, my ADHD people. I love it. But I'm always listening to you while I declutter. Yay. Thank you for letting me know that what I'm doing is helping. I happen to be working on purging clothes and went to pull you up and boom, here you are. Well, the great thing is, Colleen, I'll be here for another 20 minutes. So as you are decluttering your clothes, you have the opportunity to ask me a real live question if you're stuck in any way. Okay. So Sherry Fricks, what I would say to get back to your how to organize things, first of all, decide what stories you want to share. Decide, why am I going to keep this picture? There were 25 photos of us taken at that gig or that wedding. Let's find that one good one, Hey, there we go. I love it. Judy Dukes, I'm so proud of you. Judy Dukes jumped on. She's at the toy store, but wanted to let you know I decluttered for 20 minutes before work. She kept her promise to herself. Yay, Judy Dukes. You know what's also yay about that is that when you go home, you get to put that in your habit tracker and you are becoming more of a person who is showing up and using your habit tracker, So, yeah, so notice that. So, yay. And it's good to know that Sherry Fricks is working on clutter and listening. So this is how I have decided. I have decluttered some of my photos. I have my photos, me, my friends. I have my family photos. I have my dad's side of the family. I have my mom's side of the family. Those are three big categories. But from that, then I chunk it down. Families are chunk downable because we have different generations. Sometimes you can be like, oh, that's the, and think about, this can help too. Yeah. I find I'm doing the things on the habit tracker, but not in the habit of marking it. So Judy Dukes, write down to yourself, send yourself an email or a text and fill in your habit tracker today so that when we show up tomorrow on the TikTok lives and the YouTube lives, you will be all caught up, and you look, you are inspiring people because Judy, we were talking about chunking it down versus all or nothing. And Patty is saying, look, 20-minute chunk, not all or nothing. Good job. Yeah. And look at how good she's feeling just by doing a chunk. There's power in it, people. Decide what stories you want to be told about you. Curate your own history. Throw away the pictures where you look awful, but save some good ones. Don't throw away all your photos, but also pick the best. Pick the best, the ones that you feel the best about. I loved that dress. Look at that haircut. Man, I look good in that picture. All righty. Lady Bandit, I have some family books at my mom's that I want. In order to make Oh, I'm glad that helped, Sherry, and feel free to ask more specific questions. We've got another 15 minutes here. Lady Bandit says, I need to go through and donate some books from teaching to make room for them. Now, notice what a beautiful thing you're just describing. Now, Lady Bandit, I'm right in thinking you're no longer a teacher, but you have books that represent, these are what I used when I was a teacher. Here is evidence, external physical evidence that I was a teacher. You remove that, you still were a teacher. You can still tell people you're a teacher. You don't necessarily need all that proof. But look at this beautiful thing. She is saying, I am no longer a teacher. I no longer need those teacher books. So if I donate those, I'm going to have not just an empty shelf. No. I'm going to have space for something I really want much more than the teacher books, which are family books that are from my mom's, and I'll have a nice space to put them in. Talk about a win-win. Removing what you no longer need or want, you will always remember that you were a teacher without all of those books around. You're letting go of what you no longer need or want, and doing that because you're making space for what you do want. And that's really what it is decluttering. It's getting rid of the shit, the stuff that you just don't want anymore, for space to do whatever you want with it. Now, I will say to you, there is plenty of space that I am creating, just in case anybody's afraid of it. I am creating space that I don't know what I want to do with it, but you know what I like? Is knowing that I have the possibility of space. Now, as I've mentioned before, over here, notice, see that cube is empty because my cassettes were stored in, how do I move my finger here? There we go. My cassettes were stored in one of these kind of train cases. When I'm done, I will probably put the train case back there. There may be 4 cassettes in it. I may decide to put the cassettes somewhere else, the ones that I'm going to save for sentimental reasons, or it could be empty. But the neat thing is then there's the potential that if I wanted to fill it, I could fill it with something. If I want to keep it empty, I might just enjoy the look of that train case on the shelf. And there may be a point where I change whatever's going on back here only when I think of a better idea. Yeah. And Judy Dukes is helping Lady Bandit. Lady Bandit, I was a teacher and gave a lot of my books away, and teachers love getting free books. Yeah. Teachers are also people who clutter. I do know that, So, all right, what do we got here? We've got about 13 minutes left. It is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. We've got a weekend coming up. You got a plan? What's your plans for the weekend? Anything fun? I've got 3 decluttering parties. I've got a party, a friend party. My husband's away on a tour right now. He's coming back on Saturday. I get to see him. Even this afternoon, I get to make my own plan. Yeah. Okay. So Sherry Fricks, another topic. I love it. Another topic, how do you overcome the mindset of I need to sell this and make a little money? I know the money has already been spent, but I struggle with this sometimes. I would see how much money it's worth to you. Because in order to, and I don't know if Kara is still on, she may be able to speak to us. Kara is our resident seller. She is in the mode of selling. So she is seeing the value in taking her time and effort to make some money on her stuff. I used to be a seller, and to very few, I am giving a lot of my stuff away that might have been worth this or that. Yeah. I know the money has already been spent, but I struggle with it sometimes. I think we all do. All right. So I offer to you research. Just do some research. I need to sell this and make a little bit of money. So what is this you're thinking of? What is that item? Look it up on eBay or Etsy. See if anybody's selling it. Okay. See how much money anybody else is going to be willing to spend on it. And that may give you a better understanding of if your efforts to sell anything are going to be fruitful. Now, notice I will say up thread, Kara was saying, even if she makes $10 or $15 on something, that's a chunk of money that she's putting towards her debt, and that will help. But she is kind of a professional seller. She is into it. So that is part of her thing. If you're not a seller and you don't feel like becoming one, there may be other ways of doing it. Okay. But notice, Sherry, you have a thought in your head that's causing a feeling of struggle. I need to sell this and make money, or I'm going to feel bad because the money's already been spent and it didn't work out. The disappointment of buying something and it not working out. I think it probably happened to all of us at Christmas at one point. You saw that commercial on TV, and then you got the toy and it wasn't as cool as you thought it would be, or it didn't work like you thought it would. Life, it happens. Okay. Yay, Lady Bandit. I love it that you say teachers are natural hoarders. Okay. Judy, yeah, I have come a long way on my declutter journey because of Beth and because of yourself. I can see the progress I have made and it feels great. Notice when you look at something and it feels great, yay. All righty. So, Patty M, what I would offer is you're asking our small group. So, Patty is asking, does anyone have experience with a digital on the photo on the iPhone app? You can take pictures of old photo album pages and it individualizes the photos. I don't think I can take them out of the albums. That is a great question, but you're asking a small group of people. What I will say is, there is info. There are apps out there. I would do a Google search of them and look for reviews from people who've actually used it. Somebody here may do it, you know? Yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Now this is interesting. So okay, so Colleen is saying I'm a reseller, but when it's something of mine that I need to purge, I put it on Facebook at a can't be beat price so it sells that day. Yeah. Chat GPT. Yeah, ask chat or just type it into Google. Yeah. Yeah, and then you get some money and it feels good and then I don't have to figure out where to donate it. So notice each one of us has a different opinion about, I get a little bit of money, it feels good. Sometimes I can't do it. Now, this is an interesting thing though. Patty says, my darling daughter is selling her clothes in prom dance dresses. She has the luxury of time and letting them sit. Selling them for a couple of bucks is good for her and not for me. Patty, don't you also have the luxury of time? Why don't you have the luxury of time? If I'm not mistaken, your daughter is a full-time college student, isn't she? If anything, she doesn't have the luxury of time. So why do you think she does and you don't? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. The luxury of time. There was actually an album. I'm going to write it down. I think it was the of time. Oh, what was his name? David Mead, I think. But I digress. Time is the thing you will never get back. We have been hanging out right now 52 minutes together. Time only moves forward. We can go back to the beginning and we can pretend, we can port ourselves back in our brains into the past, but our body is always in the present. So if we can never get our time back, that's one of the reasons why I make sure that if I'm going to sell stuff, that it's worth my time. That's why I have some things that I'm going to get back to somebody today about selling them to them because I want them to deal with it because I don't want to. Yeah. Her clothes are sitting here, right? She's off doing it. The clothes are sitting there. Yeah. I don't. Okay. So notice, I don't want my clothes sitting here. So notice that. You don't want to sell your clothes. So don't let them sit there. Could you do something else? Now, sometimes we don't want to feel like we wasted something, so we need to make money from it. And everybody's financial situation is different. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to be nosy. But what I also say is sometimes you don't need the money. Maybe you want the money. Sometimes you want the time. I would rather drive these 4 bags down to donate to this person, to return that, to donate to that, and be done with it within an hour. And it's okay. Also, frankly, some of the stuff I have now isn't worth anything to anybody. The things that are worth something to somebody, I am definitely going to sell. Yeah. Yep. And I'll check prices on things too. Yes. If there's one thing I can remind you of, if you want to feel better about the monetary decisions you're making, before you buy anything online or in store or whatever, ask yourself, what am I going to do if this doesn't work out the way I hoped? What is the return policy if there is one? If there isn't a return policy, if it's all sales are final and you don't have it and it doesn't work out, what is your plan? Ask yourself that before you ever create the transaction. Okay? That's one of the reasons I will say to you that, like, when I could easily buy a couple of things online, I like to go to the stores because I can know immediately when I grab for some fabric. You can't tell fabric on the internet. So when I am able to find a store that has what I want in it, I enjoy going and checking it out in person. I'll be up in New York, New York City next weekend, and I have 2 stores that I want to go to, one of which keeps on advertising to me on TikTok. And I think it would be more fun, frankly, to go and try on the shoes and walk around in the shoes and see the different things versus just thinking they're going to be good, but then they come to me, and if they're not, then I have to go take the effort to send them back. So notice there's different ways you can work with these things. But it is a thought that creates a feeling that creates an action or an inaction. So check your thoughts, check how your thoughts relate to your feelings, but also if you're feeling a certain way, where is that coming from? Why are you feeling that way? I don't have the time can cause stress versus I've got all the time in the world. I can just let that sit there and percolate and somebody's going to buy it. You know? I hope that helps. I do. All right, you guys, we get like 4 minutes left. What do you want to do in these 4 minutes? Does everybody have a plan? Does everybody, okay, this is what we would do on a declutter party. Take kind of getting out of this kind of bubble that we're in and start to kind of look up and reconnect with the world around us. Okay. So let me help you with that. It is Thursday. It is a Thursday. It is the Thursday known as Thursday, February 11th. Where I am, it's 11:56, aka 4 minutes to noontime. It may vary for you. What else do you have on your calendar today? What other things do you have officially scheduled that you need to do? How many minutes is it between noontime and then before you need to do that? How many things do you want to do? Do you have all these things written down? I hope you do. I have those things written down. The things that were scheduled are blocked in. The things that are not scheduled but I want to have happen are just on the other side there. And I'm going to add to it. And I'm going to do things because I like the feeling of the luxury of time. I like being able to decide what I do, when I do it, for how long I do it. And that feels good to me. Today, I have certain things I'm going to do. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to have some lunch. I am going to drop off some of those donation bags. Donation bags. Donated. I may even have some fun going looking for some new cereal bowls. I have some specific ones that I'm looking for. And I have a feeling, unlike going to a thrift store and hoping to find them, I know if I drive out to, not Morgantown, Adamstown, there's a place that Adamstown? Question mark? Maybe. It looks like a nice day for a drive. And I'll have fun looking at stuff. And if I see something I really, 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 really want for my house, I may buy it. If not, I will enjoy the journey. I will enjoy looking at things that bring me visual joy without having to own them and bring them home. If I decide to buy something, I will inquire about the return policy, if any. And when I know that, then I'll say, okay, if I can't return this, if it doesn't work out the way I want, what am I going to do with it so I feel good? I love it. Social Karma Marketing MN. I'm donating food. I love that. I love that. Now, we don't have a lot of food to donate. I could buy some, but you know what? We do a monthly monetary donation to our food pantry. Oh, and just as a reminder too, when you get your tickets for the declutter parties, all of the money from those, it passes through me. 100% of the proceeds for your tickets for the declutter parties, I donate to our local food pantry. Okay. So I want you to practice helping yourself and realizing helping yourself can help other people too. Okay. So that's my day. I'm going to also, right as soon as we sign off here, I'm going to check my stuff. It looks like the TikTok has downloaded. I'm going to get back to my husband about something. I'm going to update the secret page. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys tomorrow to hear about what you did today. Okay. Patty, Chunk something down. Do something. Doing some little thing is always going to be better than doing nothing. Okay? Do something small, chunk down, feel good about it, lather, rinse, repeat. Okay? All right, you guys, this was fun. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.